My name is Emma. I'm 29 years old, and I'm from the United States. Here's my story of giving birth. It all started with what I thought were just some mild cramps. At first, I thought it was nothing more than a bad stomach ache or maybe some pre-labor discomfort. But as the hours passed, the cramps kept coming and going. They weren't terribly painful, just a little uncomfortable. But soon I noticed they were getting stronger, closer together, and lasting longer. I started timing them, and that's when I realized these were contractions. The early contractions felt like strong menstrual cramps, but as they came more frequently, they began to get more intense. My back hurt too, and it felt like the whole lower part of my body was being squeezed. I remember thinking, okay, this is really happening. My partner was there with me, keeping me calm. But deep down, I knew this was only the beginning. The pain kept increasing, and before long, it was clear I was in active labor. The contractions were so intense that I could barely focus on anything else. It felt like a wave of pressure rushing through my body, and each wave seemed to last longer. I'd breathe through each one, trying to relax, but the pressure just kept building. By this point, I was no longer able to talk through the contractions. I just had to focus on breathing and getting through each wave of pain. As the hours went by, it felt like the pain had a life of its own. Transition came next, and that's when things got crazy. The contractions were coming so fast, and the pain was unlike anything I could have prepared for. It felt like my body was being torn apart. I felt sharp, stabbing pains in my back and pelvis, and the pressure in my lower abdomen was overwhelming. I was trying to breathe through it, but I was starting to doubt if I could do this. I even felt nauseous at times. Then came the moment when the urge to push hit. It wasn't something I could control. It was like my body was just taking over. Each contraction now felt like an immense force pushing me toward the finish line. The pressure in my pelvic area was so intense, it was almost unbearable. I felt the baby moving lower, and that's when I knew I was getting closer to the end. The crowning was one of the most intense moments of my life. It felt like I was being split in two. The sensation was so strong, I thought I might not be able to handle it, but I pushed with everything I had. Then, just like that, the baby's head was out. And let me tell you, there was a huge wave of relief. It wasn't over yet, but I could feel the finish line was right there. With one final push, the baby was born. The room was filled with the most beautiful sound, the first cry. I was so tired, I could barely keep my eyes open. But when they placed that tiny baby in my arms, I forgot about all the pain, the weight of it all, the exhaustion, the discomfort. It all disappeared in that moment. Holding my baby for the first time made everything worth it. Even though it was the hardest thing I've ever done, it was the most incredible experience of my life. The pain? It faded quickly after the delivery. Sure, there were some mild cramps as the placenta was delivered, but it was nothing compared to what I had just gone through. All I could focus on was my baby, the little miracle that had come into the world. Looking back, I know I'll never forget the pain of childbirth, but when I see my baby's face, it's all worth it. All the struggles, all the moments where I didn't think I could go on, they melt away in the warmth of that first moment together. Childbirth was hard, but it's the greatest thing I'll ever do.